East County San Diego has a lot to offer. Amazing food, a rich history, tons of community events, and amazing people and organizations. I'm Kyle Whissel with Whissel Realty Group, and this is Everything East County.
Jim, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, sir.
I'm excited to have you out here. We're at the hidden stairs of Mount Nebo. So we want to show everybody all the cool things, some of the hidden gems in and around East County. This is definitely one of them. Tell us a little bit about the hidden stairs.
Well, the hidden stairs are actually public walkways that anybody can take and go up and down the hill here in Mount Nebo. They actually date to two separate subdivisions here in Mount Nebo, the Lookout Park subdivision of 1907, which is down a little below us, and up here to the summit on the Windsor Hills subdivision. So these were put in, these were cutting edge things in suburban development at the time, and so this was done to try to get people to want to come up here, buy a lot, build a house, and which eventually they did.
And if you've never been up here, the views are insane. I mean, you can see Coles Mountain, you can see El Capitan, you can see everything out here. Really, really beautiful place. That's awesome. And you said houses started being built on this mountain in the 20s, correct?
Yeah, so it's an interesting story. The original subdivision, Lookout Park, dates actually to 1908 and the Park Grable Company, which was the first sort of major developer, quote unquote, major developer back in 1908 of the La Mesa area and the downtown village area. And they only got up to Prospect Peak, which is where the little Prospect Park is today, just below us here. And then in the 1920s, another developer out of San Diego named Love and Towie came in here, and they put the rest of it up here to the top of the summit, which is known as Windsor Hills. And so you'll need to see those names used interchangeably sometimes, talking about Mount Nebo, which was named by Sherman Grable. And if you know anything about your biblical history, Mount Nebo is where Moses supposedly saw the Promised Land. So a little subtle marketing there to buy a lot in where you can see the Promised Land.
All right, so I've heard of this area referred to as a couple things. Mount Nebo, Windsor Hill. Help me understand where the Windsor Hill name comes from.
So in the 20s, another developer from San Diego named Love and Towie came in, and they had done a couple of other subdivisions. And in the 20s, you really start to begin seeing sort of this sort of marketing subdivisions as sort of like the dream home where you're going to own your castle. And of course, they're looking at how could we promote this, took Windsor Castle from England to give you this sort of revival style, the assumption they would build revival style homes here that were popular in the 20s. And so they sort of used that name to sort of think you could build your castle here in Windsor Hills. And they were pretty heavy duty. As much of the advertising in the 20s, they tend to be pretty flamboyant. And they happened to just take advantage of a fellow who was in town one day doing a little tour, and his name was Babe Ruth. You may have heard of him. He was a baseball player. And so he actually did a couple of ads for Windsor Hills, and this led to a lot of mythology that he built a house here and he lived here and owned a property, but he never actually did that. But he did do the ads, and so that's something that comes up a lot is wanting to know where Babe Ruth's house is. Well, he never really lived here, but he did do some ads for them.
I want to thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Everything East County. If you want to get connected with the La Mesa Historical Society, they're always doing fun events. They can tell you about the history of your home if you live here in La Mesa. Check them out, lamesahistory.com. I'm Kyle Whissel, and there's some food for thought.